Now joining us in studio, Mr. Downtown himself. This guy works, lives, and plays in America's finest city. Always love having him on. Robert Weichelt.
How you doing?
Good to have you on the show, and also Jacquie Atkinson, who is a war vet. Thank you for your service. Before we get into all the interesting stuff about the city and what's going on here, we appreciate your service, and you're also running for Congress.
Yes, sir.
How is that going?
It's going very well, getting better each day. So I'm winning everybody over in the 52nd District, and I hope I can win over your viewers.
And you're running on the Republican side, correct?
I am. Correct.
So you got a heck of a story, which we'll get into. Before that, let's talk a little downtown. You got a ton going on, all these events. We were just talking to our audience about the high rises, 19 new projects, Pacific Gate. Enlighten us, man.
Wow, a lot of things going on, like you mentioned. It's almost like every single day there's a new crane coming up.
Yeah.
We have the Broadstone in the Maker's Quarter having their groundbreaking next week.
That's news to me.
Yeah, that's just we just got the email this morning.
So this is Broadstone, like the one in Little Italy?
It's similar builder.
Okay.
Yeah, similar folks involved.
Okay.
It's called the Maker's Quarter. It's out there in the kind of south of where the college is, like 15th and G in that area. They're taking over. You know where Silo is?
No.
They're taking over that whole area.
Yes.
Right next to Monkey Paw.
Okay.
There we go.
Can you tell this guy lives, works, and plays
There's a
downtown?
landmark right there for you. So that's coming in. Their groundbreaking's coming in. Idea 1's well along. They've got their parking garage going. You've got Ballpark Village just south, kind of southeast of
baseball
Petco.
Season now going.
Petco. Yeah, opening day is Monday the 4th.
Yeah, very, very exciting stuff. So, Jacquie, again, thank you for your service. You had multiple tours, right? Now you come back and you are getting into politics. Because you're also a businesswoman.
I am, yes. So I was commissioned as a Marine Corps officer in 2000. I was honored to be one of the first female combat engineer officers. I served several tours overseas by the time I was a young captain. And then I left active duty service about 10 years ago, and I got into the business of counterinsurgency, asymmetric warfare, particularly trying to address the threats of improvised explosive devices back in 2006 to ensure that our military receive the tools and resources necessary to do their job.
When you say asymmetric warfare, isn't the challenge of today's time there's no battlefield, really? I mean, ultimately, you see what just happened in Brussels. We saw what happened in San Bernardino. Everybody remembers 9/11. Everything between then and now. And it really is about having a great defense, understanding who our enemy is, and there's just so many moving parts where when you don't have a battlefield, there's not going to be a treaty at the end of this thing. How do you fight in asymmetric war? I mean, obviously this is on people's minds, not just in the 52nd District, but nationally speaking.
Absolutely, because it is a threat, and for the first time in American history, what we're seeing is the threat of a movement and a radical ideology as opposed to a nation. So the largest threat isn't Russia. We're used to a conventional threat, but today we're faced with the non-conventional threat, which is the asymmetric warfare. So we have the lone shooter attacks. We're very vulnerable because of our porous borders, but we really need to fight the root cause, the ideology, the radical ideology of this movement. So we're continuing to do so every day, and it will start with a comprehensive strategy where we can remain flexible in that.
I don't want to drag you into national politics. We've seen how ugly that's gotten. In between the break, I was asking Jacquie about how's it going running for Congress? She said, enjoy it. I was like, oh, man, I can't imagine that because you see all the stuff happening on the national level. It's gotten so bad, but it's certainly got everybody's attention.
Right.
Like or don't like Trump, he's got everyone's attention. We're all talking about the same thing here. When you see this all playing out on the national level, which way are you leaning? I mean, borders, right? We're talking about the war on terror. How do we handle borders? We're San Diego. Let's start there.
Right. Well, I certainly love the fact that Trump challenges the narrative.
Yeah.
Because of the fact we have way too many career politicians like Scott Peters that are out there and just pivoting, and they're not getting any work done. This Congress has not accomplished anything in the last 2 years. So we have to have leaders, business leaders, veterans, people that want to impact their society, serve, but also to take on these threats we're faced with. We have to talk about securing our borders. Without securing your border, then we're only going to be more vulnerable and we can't talk about immigration reform. At the same sense, we also need better veterans care. And we certainly, and the most important is a strong, principled foreign policy that keeps us on the offensive. So you talked about the defense, but we must remain on the offensive against this radical ideology in order to ensure that we have a strong foreign policy that we can live with and keep Americans safe.
Your business background, so that's going to, I think, play out with some of your opinions on how to handle the economy. Certainly here, San Diego, California, nationally speaking. So what are some of your views on the economy?
So the first thing I'd like to do is take care of the fraud, waste, and abuse in government. We have too many redundant programs and government organizations and agencies and programs that don't have a sunset clause that we need to ensure they come back to justify their continued funding. So I see the fraud, waste, and abuse in government every day. When I left the active duty and got into business, I started with a $2 million program. And within 4 years, I grew that to $75 million. And in the last 4 years, I also returned $17 million to the U.S. Treasury, to the taxpayer, actually, because I know that we can do it better and that we can streamline and ensure that we're spending the taxpayer money wisely. That is my utmost concern. So when I get into the House, when I can represent the 52nd District, and I'd be honored to do so, that is going to be one of the first things I'm going to accomplish on day one.
Can you tell us about the 52nd District and what areas that covers exactly?
Well, this 52nd is the best in our country. I will say that, absolutely. I would be probably the most fortunate individual to represent the district. You're talking from La Jolla, Coastal, all the way through downtown, and Coronado. And then you have Poway, Rancho Bernardo, and some of the areas up near Del Mar also. So you can absolutely look it up, CA 52. And you'll agree with me, it encompasses the greatest parts of California.
We appreciate you coming in here. Now, these are parts of California that this guy buys and sells real estate. So, you know, you mentioned helping homeless. We just did something downtown with Mayor Faulkner, where I know that we're trying to take 1,000 people off the streets that have served. It seems like we really screw up the vets, right? I mean, they come back, they do these tours, and we don't really take care of them. I like seeing initiatives like that. I don't know if there's wasteful spending in there or not, but that seems like a good cause. We need more housing. You know, I don't know how you can influence that, but isn't that a big crisis that we have overall in San Diego?
It is. We need more affordable housing. You know, that's in and around the downtown, not just in downtown, but all over San Diego County. We need more affordable housing. There are a lot of initiatives for builders to put in affordable components into their projects. And Ballpark Village, what I mentioned earlier, has a number of affordable housing units in that project that they were giving credits to do so. And I think that's great. I think we need more affordable housing. That's the key. You
know, there's a survey we talked about on last week's show that I think it was 9,000 people left San Diego year over year. And it's obviously because of affordability. We have a state that taxes the heck out of people, and we have real estate, whether you're buying it, but you help people, you know, point them in the right direction on renting as well. Rent prices are going up, house prices are going up, and interest rates are low. What happens when interest rates go up? I mean, to me, that's the real challenge that we haven't really addressed, because we can't control that. It's a market-driven thing. But are there any solutions to the housing market here? I mean, the areas you speak of, this is something that, you know, this is a San Diego show we're all facing here. So is there anything we can do that you see?
Well, I certainly, when it comes to, there's two-part. When it comes to veterans homelessness, we've seen a lot of different projects and initiatives, particularly the Housing First model in which we were talking about. Unfortunately, we've placed a very large burden on our all-volunteer military force that have done 4, 5, 6, and 7 tours overseas, and then they come back, and you know, veterans care isn't where it should be. That is drastically unfortunate, but we're also seeing that my generation of veterans, most of them you won't see on the streets because they're still couch surfing with their friends.
Right.
But you're going to see them. It's inevitable. And the more burden we place on the military, the more we're going to start to see on the streets, and they're just not being taken care of. So I would agree with the Housing First program that we're starting to see, in which I believe Mayor Faulkner is starting to study and take a look at. But when it comes to the interest rates, when you increase the interest rate, I don't know necessarily if our economy is ready for that or prepared for that. I do want to maintain a buyer's market. I don't think that we're seeing the salaries or the job growth where increasing like we should, if you're going to try to make those increases in it.
It's not cheap to be here, but you know, here's the good thing about it all, is that the reason it's also expensive is a lot of people want to be here, right? This is America's finest city. Good luck with your campaign. I can't imagine it's an easy process, but we appreciate your service, and I'm sure you have a website we've rolled on screen by now that people can visit. So thank you so much for coming in. And Robert Weichelt, Work, Live, Play downtown. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, this is not just a good guy, he's the guy. MrDowntown, baseball season. We're catching a game.
I can't wait. It's going to be
We
awesome.
got to go do these.
Yeah.
What are we doing in studio? You know, we got to go catch a game, man. So
Yes,
we'll do it down at
absolutely.
Ballpark Village.
Stream from the game.
Wouldn't that be nice, man? I don't need to be here dressed up like
Right.
this. All right, that's all for today. Great way to finish the show. Great show today. If you missed anything, don't forget we put it all at craigsewing.com. You can follow us on social media. And, of course, we'll be right here again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Channel 4. Have a great day.